Charlotte here, second generation homeschooling mom of 3. I have an 8-year-old, a 5-year-old, and an infant. And today I wanted to share with you how all of our summer homeschooling went. So let's get into it. So I don't think I mentioned this in my summer plans video, but I actually ended up doing reading Reflex with my son every day that we were at home this summer because we were traveling a lot. But the days that we were home, we did reading Reflex, and it's been going really, really well for him. And we're about this far into it. This last section of the book, you're kind of flipping back and forth between the lessons here where you're reading lists, and then lessons over here where you're reading stories, and they have a like word analysis. There's several different lessons. You're kind of flipping back and forth all through this section of the book, and then it gets to more complicated words. So this has been going really, really well for him. When we are all done, I anticipate finishing this year, I'm going to do a more in-depth review of reading Reflex, but I don't want to really comment on it a ton until we've completely finished the program and I can kind of see how it went. But so far we're really, really liking this. It's a speech to print program, and it just seems to be working so well for my son, who is an intuitive reader, and I think it also would work really well for kids who struggle. You just probably would need to add more repetition than my son needed. But yeah, we've been really enjoying reading Reflex. For my daughter, she finished Singapore math pretty quickly, and then this kitten math, she finished this in less than a week. So I ended up buying the nature math workbook by the same person, which is all about Fibonacci spirals and Archimedean spirals, and I think they talk about one other kind of spiral, but a lot of work with Fibonacci stuff. So she didn't love this as much as kitten math, which actually was a good thing because she was willing to only do a few pages each day, so we actually spread it out over the whole summer. But I think I found the discussion of all the different kinds of spirals and how they tie into art more interesting than she did, but she did enjoy it. So that was a good math review for us, and now she's getting ready to start her next level of Singapore math this next week when we start school. Mad Libs, she loved these. We did them way more often than I had them scheduled just because they were really fun. So yeah, we did the whole we did about this much of it. So that was pretty good. That was way more than I thought we would do. And we took turns writing. So I would write one and then she would write the next one. And so she got to practice some spelling and things like that. This child's introduction to poetry went well. I knew it would. We did the first half last year, and then this year we were just doing the second half. My kids enjoyed it. They listened to all the poems. I really like this book. So once we finished with the poetry book, because we finished that fairly early in the summer, we started doing the FDIC's Money Smart for Young People curriculum. I opted to do the K-2 program just because I haven't done any formal financial curriculum with my daughter yet. I've given her things to read, and we've read books and kind of discussed it, but I hadn't done any official program yet, and I thought if I did the K-2 level, it would be really easy to do both of my kids together, and it was. So that went really well, but it was a little bit basic for my daughter. But next year we can do, during the summer, the 3-5 curriculum, and that'll build nicely. So that went really well. For art, both of my kids really enjoyed creative form drawing, and they just wanted to do this. I didn't need to pull in any other art, so we made it up through these lines were kind of a little bit difficult. So we spent a lot of time with these first few lessons just because my kids really enjoyed them. And if they're happy repeating these over and over again, they're improving their motor skills, and that was fine with me. I didn't have any super strict goals for art this summer, more just I wanted to have things to offer them when they wanted to do art. And we did these mostly through body movement, and then we did them with like chalk outside, or we did them on the whiteboard inside. So my kids didn't really make any art pages, so like we didn't really do it on paper. We kind of did it more large scale than that, so that was fun. And that was a lot easier for my son too, who struggles with fine motor. And then we did this fairy lore of the world curriculum. My kids really enjoyed this. It was nice to get some light geography. We would find whatever country we were talking about on the globe, read the fairy stories. We read a lot of the additional books they suggested. My kids enjoyed those. We liked doing the science experiments. I will say I didn't follow the instructions for a lot of the science experiments just because I'd done similar things before, and the instructions in here were different than the way I'd done it before. So I just did the way I'd done it before because I know the way I did it before works. For example, they have you do spore printing for one of the weeks in here, and the instructions in here have you like put something heavy on top of the mushroom caps. My kids and I have done spore printing a lot, and we've never weighted our mushroom caps. We always just let them sit on the paper for 24 hours, and it's always worked for us. So I didn't want to mess with that. So we just did it the way that we've always done it. I think there were 1 or 2 other science experiments too that the instructions were slightly different than how I was used to doing them. So I just did them my way. But that was really fun. And then these are not books that they recommend in that curriculum. These are just extra books that I got from my library to supplement because I thought that my kids would think they were fun. I don't think my son really did anything with these, but my daughter did a bunch of drawing. She did most of the projects in this book, actually. So this is kind of just a different how-to. And then she did a lot of the projects in this book as well, the fairy projects. She wasn't as into the mermaid projects just because we're doing fairies, but I think she did one or two of the mermaid projects, but most of the fairy projects. So these were both really fun for her. This author actually came to our library this summer, and I really wanted to go and meet him, but we were traveling, so that was a bummer. And then my husband and my daughter also built this robot this summer. They aren't quite done with it. My husband ended up having to travel for work a lot more than he'd anticipated, but they're almost done and they'll keep working on it. So once it's done, there's different block programming things they can do. Block programming is the kind of programming that my daughter has been learning through code.org. But there's also a lot more she can do if she learns to type, and then she can start learning more advanced programming languages. We have this book, Learn Robotics with Raspberry Pi, that looks really good, that has all sorts of different projects she can do, but most of them you do need to be able to type. All in all, our summer went really well. We also, in addition to the summer schooling that we did, which took less than an hour, the weeks that we were here, we tried to do school 2 to 3 times a week. And then we also tried to go to the pool a lot because both of my older kids have been doing swim lessons. They can swim. My daughter can swim completely independently. Like, she passed the swim test to be able to swim on her own. My son still needs somebody near him, which is fine. He's only 5. But he's comfortable in the water, which is the important thing. So we went to the pool a lot. We also did the Kids Bowl Free program. There's several bowling alleys near us that participate in that. If you haven't heard of that, it's a nationwide program. You just kind of have to go on the website and see if there's an alley near you that participates. But the kids don't have to pay to bowl, you just have to pay for their shoes. So we did that a couple of times this summer, and then we went to the splash pad, met up with friends. We went to the library a lot. Our library offers free lunches during the summer, and my kids always like school lunches. The school staff make them and provide them. And so my kids always want to go and do those and kind of like experience what a school lunch is like. And there are actually a surprising number of other homeschoolers who also come. So it's kind of like a little homeschool hangout during the summer. And then we did a lot of traveling. We got to visit a lot of family and friends, and we just had a really nice summer. I hope your summer was similarly nice. I would love to hear from you in the comments below. I'll try to link everything that I mentioned in the description box. I am an Amazon affiliate, so if you click on an Amazon link and make a purchase, I will receive a small commission. Thank you for watching.